Alright folks, in this video I'm going to show you how you can get one of the strongest attacks in the game on any POW. The move is called Dark Whisp. It looks like this. It's like a bunch of different missile shadow balls. Very strong attack. And you can get on any POW. I put it on a Frostalion Noct. The way you're going to do that is you're going to need to get a Victor and Shadowbeak. Now this isn't any Shadowbeak. It has to be the boss. If you don't know how to catch the boss, you check my other videos. Basically, you bring mercenaries into the boss battle and get it damaged when you're wanted, and you can catch any boss in the game. But check out my other YouTube videos for that. So here's Dark Whisp. Where's the description? It says, fires a menacing ball of dark energy that pursues enemies. So again, it's kind of a long step process, but here is Victor and Shadowbeak. You can see it's the boss version. We bred over 600 Frostalion Nocts. These are all my shinies. Another tip is making these viewing cages, because it adds more like physical storage space for your POWs if your PC is too full. So we have tons of viewing cages just full of POWs, and this is just one base. My other bases are have some viewing cages as well. That's kind of why I'm lagging here. It's because we have just tons of POWs shoved in these viewing cages. I think it holds up to 30, or no, 40. It holds up to 40. Anyways, let me show you this is probably one of the hardest POWs to get with Dark Whisp, because you're gonna also want to breed for perfect abilities, and I spent almost a week just breeding 600 eggs, and I got instant eggs on for the settings. We got two of them, so you can compare the stats. Its attack is 1188, defense is 712, HP is 5300 at level 50. Now this is no stars, we didn't upgrade it all yet. We didn't use any enhancements. So compare this stat with this one, 1324, 5163 for HP, defense is 783. So higher stats overall. Again, it has Dark Wisp with the right abilities. Ferocious adding 20%, Musclehead adding 30% attack, Legend adding 20, 15. And then Lord of the Underworld, it is a dark POW, so using dark moves, adding 20% to the dark move attacks. But this is an egg move that can only come from Victor and Shadowbeak, which you're not really supposed to, it's an exploit. You're not really supposed to have access to Dark Wisp. There's no skill fruit tree that you can get it from. So I'll show you the let's see here. This is the website that I use for figuring out the breeding chain tree. So I start off with a Chickpea. I bred Victor and Shadowbeak with pretty much anything. I think I used a German Tide for its stats. Got a Chickpea. Bred it with a Serpent to get Gale Claw. Bred it with a Frostalion Noct to get Frostalion Noct is it's just these two to get him. You can't catch this one, but I guess he is considered legendary. Anyways, you breed this to get Anubis. Throw in a Shadowbeak. You can breed on Lord of the Underworld here to get that ability. Because I already bred tons of German Tide and Anubis, so they have good stats, and Jetragon. So Anubis gets German Tide, and again, there are hundreds of different ways to go down this, but this is the specific one that I use. And so it's a lot of chain breeding, and this isn't the hard part. The tricky part is when you get to the last one, because you're breeding for perfect abilities and the egg move that comes from Chicopee all the way up from Victor and Shadowbeak, making sure that they have the right egg move. Let's see. Yeah, so you're always gonna want to pass down. Here's the Chicopee that I used. You see how it has Dark Whisp? You want to make sure that the egg move passes and the abilities. You don't really have to focus too much on the abilities towards the end, the passive skills. But what I used for... See, I was trying the 3-in-1. This one has just Legend, while this one has the other 3 passive skills. And that's why I bred so many, because that can work, but it just takes longer. The best way to do it is like this. You see, they both have Dark Whisp, the egg move. I think I was breeding these two here, Frostalion and Hosifer. Hosifer had Dark Whisp, 2 of the abilities, and I just kept breeding until these are like some of the offsprings. Legend and Lord of the Underworld, Ferocious and Musclehead. Those are the 4 abilities I wanted. You're going to want to have a 2-and-2. If you can put the egg move Dark Whisp on both of them, that helps. But if you breed more than one, if you don't have one of those apps or mods that show you the hidden values, you can just have them at the same level. If they have the same passive skills, you can see one is obviously stronger than the other. And I've bred other pals like this one. This one has perfect abilities, but it does not have the egg move Dark Whisp, which makes this one of the hardest pals to breed. Any pal with a specific egg move plus the right 4 abilities that you want is going to be a grind. I've bred a couple of them that had the right abilities, but look at this. They had the right abilities, but just could not get the egg move on it. And then you're going to breed just a bunch of like 3 skill ones, or get the wrong ability. I thought I was going to settle for Swift for a second. Oh, here's another one, but this one doesn't have the egg move. So these are the only 2 that had the egg move from Shadowbeak, Victor and Shadowbeak. Yeah, anyways, here is my main competitive team. I was debating on doing a team without legendaries, but I just love Jetragon for his speed. Frostalion is good as an alpha. You see the red right here? That indicates it's an alpha, which, look at its HP. This has 15,000 HP. These alphas, this one has 200,000. Victor and Shadowbeak has 200,000 HP. Compared to like one that's in the non-alpha, this is like 4,000 HP, 4,000 HP, 5,000 HP. So that really shows that the alphas have way more HP, but you know, you're gonna have to catch it. You can't breed it as an alpha. So I prefer to have, you know, instead of having higher HP, I have better attack because I have the 4 abilities that I have, 4 passive abilities and skills that I want on him. We have Lucario that I like. I mean Anubis. I've named the Pokemon names. And then we have Gale Claw, which is just good for my shiny Gale Claw, just for like, if you guys aren't using Gale Claw, you guys definitely need to, because you can do this at any time you want. And it's just a faster way to travel around when you're exploring the world. But this is more for exploration, and I guess you could dodge boss moves attacks. And then I have Germantide, aka Gyarados. So this would probably be my main team. It would look something like, instead of using these guys, I would probably run this. We have Germantide, who is the strongest water pal in the game. I had a dragon move on here because we were fighting Victor and Shadowbeak, but you could pretty much put any move on there that you want. Hydro Laser 150 is really good. You can use skill fruit trees to add moves. 1700 attack, not bad. That's actually pretty darn high for 4-star Germantide with these are my 4 passive skills that I love on pretty much any competitive PAL. Minus Lord of the Sea, this is specific to the typing. Then we have Jet Dragon, aka Salamence, has the 4 passive abilities. We have Fireball, Dragon Breath. You could probably switch out for some other skill or storm or some other move. We have Beam Comet. He's a little broken. The Dragon Meteor is kind of broken when you mount him. It doesn't work when you're mounted. I mean, it does, but it doesn't have it homing on it until they fix it. But solid, even 1900 attack, 1900 attack, which is very high. Defense almost at 800. We did enhance him. We did enhance him at the Lucario statue, the Anubis statue, but we've only done the attack. But we have more Palsos that we can use. Then we have Arcanine. He's more like a Pyroar or Solgaleo, but Arcanine's a fire type, so I named him Arcanine. But this is Blazemut. We have Lightning Bolt for the water types. If the water types come in, I mean, this is for PvP competitive battles, but that's not even implemented in the game. But we went ahead and 4-starred this one. We bred over 200 something Blazemuts. His attack is at almost 1600. High defense at 948. We have the right abilities. And you're always going to want to read some of these passive abilities because, for example, Lucario or Anubis, when fighting together, applies ground damage to player's attack, sometimes dodges attacks with high speed, sidestep on that. So you want to make sure you know what your passive abilities are. Here's a Dragon Meteor we threw on him. 150 damage, which is good for the dark types. You want to have good coverage of typing. I played a lot of Pokemon like Showdown and just competitive Pokemon, knowing like IVs and EVs and natures and all that. So you're going to want to have a mix of different typings. I would say Anubis is probably the strongest ground type, and he's good at the work base, obviously, because of his handiwork at level 5. But Warsec might be another good ground type. We have Earth Emperor on him, giving him an extra 20% for ground moves. Yeah, I enjoy having Anubis on my team, but look at his attack. It's not even 1500 yet. We already maxed out his attack, so he is on the lower side of attack compared to something like Jet Dragon or even Drummer Tide has pretty high attack for not being a legendary. And who knows if they're gonna have tiers if PvP ever comes out, competitive comes out. But the main thing about breeding Dark Whisp is, yeah, it just takes it's a grind. You have to get Victor and Shadowbeak to get it passed down in the eggs. You're gonna want to have the 2 different abilities. That's just a way quicker way about going about it. So if you get a legend and a ferocious with just those passive skills, breed those or any 2, and then you get the 2 on 2 to get hopefully all 4 of them plus the egg move. And if both the parents can have the egg move, I would say you might have a better shot. I can't confirm that, but at least have one of the parents with the egg move, because just getting all 4 passive abilities takes a long time. Yeah, happy how this one turned out. We have to go ahead and 4-star this. We have over 600 that we bred. I do want to mention there is this weird glitch where, like, if you have an alpha and you butcher him and you mount him, you could get extra drops and not actually kill it to get like ingots and farm schematics. But you gotta be careful because you can also glitch and fall through the ground, which always sucks. If you do glitch to the ground, you just have to have a flying mount to get back unglitched. But here's the 2 parents that I used. Again, what I want to show you real quickly is what I'm rocking for my armor and items. I'm using a rocket launcher. Don't shoot this at your base. Your whole base will blow up. This has 14,000 if you get the legendary schematic. This is from Jetragon as a drop for the schematic. I use this and it kind of makes the POWs confused or knocked down, which is useful. You can also, there's this weird trick where if it's frozen, you can sometimes pop them in the air and they die from fall damage. Um, I just think the reload time kind of sucks. My main weapon is usually the assault rifle just to poke or aggro POWs. You can buy ammo. It's not hard to get ammo from merchants. So this comes from Glazemut as a drop. So these are the late game, end game weapons you're going to be using. People forget to use their accessories. If you want more attack, you can use this. If you want health or defense, make sure you use some pendants. We have a glider, shield, just standard shield. We don't actually have this schematic for the heat one yet, legendary heat resistant armor, but we do have this one comes from the two centaurs, the legendary ones, and then we have the Palmetto helmet from Frostalion. I do think having Frostalion as maybe an alpha might be better than a dark type, although he has access to some ice. I guess this is his only ice move, Crystal Wing. Technically ice would be a better typing just because of dragons, and dark's only good against normal. But I do like being able to use this Dark Whisp. Again, you can get Dark Whisp on any POW. You just have to know the tree, the chain, how to chain breed. You're obviously going to want to cook up a lot of cakes. I don't know how many cakes we have like in storage here. We have like 84 cakes here. Yeah, I do think the viewing cage is useful for extra storage in case you don't want to have to butcher them all the time. But here is one more time a look at Dark Wisp. Let's see if we can find something to hit. Here is Dark Wisp. Just a bunch of shadow balls that go. They're really slow, but 160 base power is definitely the strongest. Look at all these Frostalion Nocts that we got here. That is a lot of Shadow Riders. I think that's about it. I think we covered everything. If you have any questions, just drop a comment. Thank you to everyone who subscribes. If you haven't subscribed, help me out and give me a subscribe and like this video. Yeah, check out the other video if you don't know how to catch bosses yet. But they're probably going to patch that, so you're definitely going to want to catch at least one of every boss before it gets patched. Otherwise, you won't be able to even egg move Dark Wisp. But who knows if they're going to make it a fruit skill, or who knows what's coming out in the future for the game. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.